I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I freaking love Animal Crossing, and these are just some of my thoughts on why it's so great and why I've played it every single day for the 2 years it's been out. We all know it's immensely popular, and that it's been one of the most successful Switch games ever, and there's a good reason for that, and it's all about timing. Talk about the right place at the right time, and this is very much the case of Animal Crossing New Horizons when it launched in March of 2020 for the Nintendo Switch. The premier game to kick off the worldwide pandemic that changed billions of lives across the planet, Animal Crossing New Horizons was seen as an escape from a chaotic chain of events that upended many people's jobs, livelihoods, and families. Millions of players from around the world sought sanctuary in the colorful, simple, and joyful world of Animal Crossing, where you could live out your island fantasy by building and shaping an island full of animals as its very own dictator. Wait, I meant to say mayor. Connecting people from all over the world to show off their incredible island creations and impeccable sense of style became the main draw for players of the game. As the Animal Crossing community has grown from an impressive 12.97 million units sold from the 3DS game Animal Crossing New Leaf, to a staggering 37.62 million units for Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Switch. The game was so popular and influential during its debut, in fact, that it had eclipsed the total lifetime sales of the entire franchise within its first 6 weeks on the market. Talk about the right place at the right time. So why am I talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons now, you ask? Well, the game has been out on the Nintendo Switch for just over 2 years, and I thought I'd reflect on my time with the game and why I've played it every single day since launch, and why I still plan to do so. If any of you have watched the content on my channel before, you know I make content on a variety of video games. More specifically, I make videos about the latest releases in the video game industry, going over reviews, previews, tips and tricks videos, yada yada yada. I've played a lot of games on this channel and during my life. Everything from Crash Bandicoot to Halo to Persona to Elden Ring and all the Souls games for that matter. I would be what many would say, well, a seasoned gamer, and I've got all sorts of tastes when it comes to video games. But the one game that I got more hooked on than any other game before New Horizons was probably Rocket League and without a doubt Animal Crossing New Leaf from the 3DS. Explaining to people about my fascination and adoration of the Animal Crossing series is quite difficult to put into words. I've played literally hundreds and hundreds of games in my lifetime, but why is the Animal Crossing series at the top of the list when it comes to the time spent playing with the game? It comes down to just how laid back and chill the game is. I got into New Leaf when I was about halfway through my years as a college student, taking 18 credit semesters, absolutely swamped with work and studying while also managing a social life with clubs, sports, and an adventurous friend group. Recommended by my brother, I downloaded Animal Crossing New Leaf from the eShop on my 3DS and started playing the game one Thursday night. Having lost track of time, as is so common when you're a college student, that play session led me to 4 in the morning. Obsessing about breeding certain types of flowers and catching beetles to sell for massive amounts of money, or bells in Animal Crossing lingo. This unhealthy obsession with the game led me to countless nights staying up late and making sure all my villagers were happy in the fear of them packing their bags and moving to another island. Watering all the flowers, catching all manner of bugs and fish to donate to the museum. Yeah, I was hooked. Even then, nearly 10 years ago, I wondered why on earth am I loving this game so much? It just comes down to how laid back and chill the game is. 2 years later, I finally put the game down, simply out of the feeling like I had gotten everything I wanted out of Animal Crossing New Leaf. All my favorite villagers were there, I had decorated my village how I wanted, but was put off by the limited way I could customize my village. I wanted to make my own rivers and waterfalls. I wanted to decide where to move my villagers, where to build bridges, and shape it how I always wanted. Then Animal Crossing New Horizons came out. And not only did it come out, but it arrived right when everything was locking down. The pandemic prevented me from working for a few weeks, seemingly to isolate at home with nothing much to do except turn on the TV, read books, and daydream about going outside and not having to worry about dying. This game blew up. Like, literally blew up. It seemed like everyone and their mom was playing this game, or at least were trying to play this game, as Switches everywhere and from online retailers like Amazon sold out almost instantly. Animal Crossing is simple. It's all about escaping to a happy place and just existing there with your happy villagers, creating awesome landscapes for you to see every time you turn on the game, and get rich by selling crap you never use for bells, upgrading your house, building your own palace in a mushroom forest surrounded by waterfalls. Yeah, this game scratched my itch for creative design and then some. The beauty of this game is that it is very much a social experience, giving you the option to invite a group of friends over to your island to give them a tour of the hundreds of hours you put into the game, while taking a short plane ride to their islands to do the same exact thing. It's about sharing that awesome creativity and getting that next villager you've always wanted, and planning out the next area of your island you want to renovate. And also going to Dom's house and hear him talk about him naming each of his abs. It's listening to the calm and relaxing music, soaking up the glorious sunsets, texting your friends that you've got turnips selling for 600 bells a pop, traveling to random islands by sleeping in your own bed, seeing how other people's minds come to life in their own worlds. Animal Crossing New Horizons is nearly everything that I wish New Leaf was, all here in a device I can play on the big screen and on the go. With better online, more tools to reshape and design your village just how you want it to be, and with some pretty sweet downloadable content for all the designers out there in Happy Home Paradise. And the 2.0 update that came out last fall reinvigorated all those that got burnt out, with more villagers, more items, numerous quality of life improvements, and more. Now, you may be wondering how I spend my time in New Horizons these days. Do I still play it 10 hours a day like I did the first month it was out? Well, no, absolutely not. I don't think I ever will, to tell you the truth. Life has since moved on, and life as we knew it has made much progress to get back to how it used to be. But that doesn't mean I have given up on my island. Far from it. I play once a day, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, digging up and selling my fossils for extra cash and making sure all the villagers are good. Then I take a nice trip around my island, scoping out areas that I want to retheme or reshape, and then call it a day. Can't forget about those money rocks. Interestingly, I'm still learning some old DIYs that I managed to not get, and this game just triggers my creative side like no other game has. I know there's no tangible reward like leveling up or getting sweet gear to show off to all your friends like in so many games, but no, this game doesn't really need that. The satisfaction I get from Animal Crossing is getting to explore all the hard work I poured into the game over the years and reflecting on the times in my life that inspired these sections of my island. The earlier moments of the game, more notably during the thick of the pandemic when it first started, saw me creating a tropical, Polynesian-inspired area with its plentiful coconut trees and colorful flowers and tiki torches dotting the landscape, calling me back to the years where I worked in Guam for a few years before the pandemic hit. More recent areas use more water and waterfalls against fantastical items like mushroom lamps and stars to create colorful, neon-lit escapes. The beauty of Animal Crossing New Horizons is in the tools you can use to sculpt literally anything you can think of within its own limitations. Exploring strangers' islands and visiting friends' islands only gives me more inspiration to continue letting my creative juices flow. It all comes back to how laid back and chill the game is. I could go off about the game's shortcomings, like wanting more interactivity with some items and more ways to experience multiplayer, but they don't greatly take away from the experience for me. Animal Crossing New Horizons has become part of my daily routine, and one that I share regularly with my friends and some family members who also play. Because I only typically play for about 5 to 10 minutes per day, I never find it intrusive and always enjoy revisiting my island and marveling at its transformation, just as I, myself, have grown within the past 2 years. New Horizons represents near limitless possibilities of self-expression, and it is that laid-back formula that has won me over for perhaps every day until the next installment inevitably lands on Nintendo's next system. But what about you? Do you play Animal Crossing, or have you played it and no longer find the desire to pick it up again? Let me know in the comments about your experience with Animal Crossing as a series. If you liked the video, then go ahead and show your support by rating some likes on the video and subscribing to my channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Later, fam.
Me.